accidentally clicked off of it. Could you? Sorry. Can we dim the lights too a little bit? You're probably wondering how I decided to choose this topic. Like many of y'all, I was last summer I was filling out my college applications, and I started to begin to think, what major should I go into? It started the question, where is God trying to get me to go for my future? What career does He want me to go into? So, as a result, I decided to shadow a few different people in the fields of math and science because I've always excelled in those areas in school. First, I chose a heart surgeon. I chose this because of the familiarity with the job, because my dad is a pacemaker sales rep. So every day, he is either working with a heart surgeon one way or another. He's on the phone with them, he's in a surgery room with them, or he's hanging out with his best friend, who happens to be a heart surgeon and is the reason why we live in Greenville today. Whether it be helping them in surgery, but I felt like I still needed to do my due diligence. So I shadowed a financial advisor, Mr. Wagner, if y'all know Katie Wagner, it's her dad, and Mr. Dowling, a COO of a local bank. He's not that anymore, but he was when I first started shadowing him. It just so happened that he gave me a personality test to see what my strengths and weaknesses were, what careers I would typically succeed in. Not only were my eyes open to new careers, but he became an invaluable mentor to me that I'm eternally grateful for. He was supposed to show up today, but it looks like he's not here today. The behavioral test that he gave me measures 4 different things: dominance, extroversion, patience, and formality, which will provide a simple framework for understanding someone's workplace behavioral style. Many companies in the U.S. use this to put you in certain groups. So like say you're in a law firm and you're going into family law. They'll make a group out of certain characteristics and so that you can mesh together. The personality test results alerted me to the fact that I would indeed do well in the medical field, but I would also succeed in fields of accounting, banking, architecture, engineering, and law. Reason being, specialists are cautious, introspective, and highly dedicated to doing things the right way. They don't obsess over having things their way, they obsess over doing things the right way. And if y'all know me, I'm very statistical, analytical, and look at everything trying to do it the right way. This new information caused more uncertainty in my life as I was filling out college applications, because I have no idea what I want to do when I get older. But it also caused a curiosity in me to explore the field of law. And it just so happened that a couple months later, over Christmas break, God put me in a situation where I could meet a lawyer. Who in here personally knows a lawyer? Are y'all related to anybody? Are you related to them, or are they a friend?
A friend.
What do you know? What field they're in, or like what type of law?
He's a JAG lawyer, so
Okay.
military.
Ashton, I saw your hand raised. Are they related or a friend?
A friend.
Friend. What type of law are they in? Okay. Anybody? I saw a hand over here. Josh.
Coach Walpole's son, Trey Walpole, he's an attorney right now.
Okay. That's cool. Before the summer, I had never met a lawyer. I wasn't related to anybody. I didn't know anybody. But over Christmas break, my brother and I visited his freshman year roommate, whose dad happens to be a lawyer. One night during the trip, I asked his dad, Mr. Snipes, many questions about his career as a lawyer and as a Christian going into the field of law. During our conversation, he discussed many of his most impactful cases, one being early on in his career, he had to defend a special needs mother, LaTanya, whose baby had been taken away from her by the DSS. Both of them knew that they would never win. They both went into the case knowing that they would never win. but Latanya wanted her baby to know that she was fighting for it. To him, her determination and her love for her child were resemblant of the love that God has for his children. This shifted Mr. Snipes' perspective on how to treat everyone in the courtroom and in daily life. He started treating his family different. He started treating his son. He started going to more games, more families, stuff like that. For the past 20 plus years, she has visited him weekly to sit down, chat, and have a Coke. Which is why I brought in the Cokes today. This relationship is what made me want to go into law. I saw how it affected him. It was the first time I've ever seen an adult man cry to me over somebody that he met. And that's what really persuaded me to go into law. And he gave me this piece of advice. Find yourself a Latanya. To me, this means that in any career that I go into, I need to find someone and create a relationship with them who will make me a better man, a better Christian, and a better friend. The things that I learn from this relationship will carry over into all aspects of my life, just like him and his family, in his work career, and his daily life. This conversation that we had yet again sparked an interest in researching the field of law, which is why I'm up here today presenting this topic to y'all. Definition and purpose of a Christian lawyer. In my research, the most basic definition of a Christian lawyer that I could come across, which was not very easy to find, is a Christian lawyer claims belief in Jesus Christ as the Son of God and considers that that belief underlies the ethics that they live by. So a Christian lawyer, most importantly, is a Christian. They've devoted their life to believing in God. Of course, they have ups and downs like most of us, but they are Christian. Secondly, they feel called to implement their religion into their field of work. So the way they treat their clients, the way they are in the courtroom, the way they interact with everybody in the courtroom. They examine the teaching of Scripture and apply these principles and truths to law and government in light of what Jesus did and what he's still doing. Christians trained in law have a unique ability to defend the truth because they have a biblical framework. They've read stories from the Bible. They've been taught. They're listening to God. They listen to God about answers and what happens. Not only is it important to understand what a Christian lawyer is, it's also important to know their purpose. In Proverbs 31, 8 through 9, as James used on his presentation last week, open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute. Open your mouth, judge righteously, defend the rights of the poor. In my opinion, I took this as Christian lawyers are supposed to be voices for the voiceless. Christian lawyers should take the cases that no one else will. They don't care about the fame or fortune that comes from being a lawyer, as most of y'all know and saw in James's project last week. Lawyers get paid a good amount of money. So Christian lawyers should not worry about that. They should worry about helping the people that need it the most, such as Latanya. She knew she wouldn't win, but Mr. Snipes wanted to help her. In essence, if a lawyer wants to bring their faith and their job together, if they want to have a life of discipleship and service, they need to look no further than the person that sits across the desk from them in meetings. As we saw this earlier in the year, does anybody happen to remember what it leads to? The better we understand what it means to be a whole person, the better we understand what it means to have a healthy culture. Human flourishing. So I believe that Christian lawyers' main purpose should be to promote human flourishing. As we learned early in the year, there are different ways to do this, but the way that I'm doing it is, or the way that I'm connecting it to my presentation is treating others as whole persons. In law, you are given so many opportunities to interact with one another. You see someone on a daily basis, you get to help them with a case, and usually the person that you're meeting with is in a very, very low point, most times, not all the time, but they need help and they need you. So as a Christian, we're called to love your neighbor as yourself. So I feel like applying the principles and truths from the Bible is the only way that we can promote human flourishing in the way of law. Let's see. Another Bible verse that goes along with this, in agreement with this, human flourishing. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Law can be both a profession and a ministry for Christian lawyers. Both sides, as we've seen earlier from LaTanya and Mr. Snipes, can benefit from a relationship that happens in law. Christian lawyers see the bigger picture and realize that